Hello, everyone, and welcome to another interesting episode of the Reflection series where we share stories that recharge and rejuvenate us. And today we have a speaker all the way from USA, Dr. Rahul Biswas. He's a computational neuroscientist based in San Francisco, working to understand the brain and supporting research on neurological disorders. He's been practicing Rajayoga meditation with the Brahma Kumaris for the last 13 years, and he's also the founder of a research consulting firm based in California. And the title of the story that he would be sharing with us today is Finding Strength Within, a PhD journey through uncertainty. So Rahul shares about how he navigated the challenges of completing a PhD during the COVID-19 pandemic, drawing strength from spirituality and inner resilience. His story offers hope, balance, and inspiration for anyone facing uncertainty. So, sounds very encouraging. So, without any further ado, a very hearty welcome to the program, Rahul, and it's over to you to share your story with us. Welcome once again.
Thank you so much, Sister Lata. And it's really a pleasure to be sharing this with everyone. So, this began in around 2018, while I was beginning the research phase of my PhD. It was in Seattle, a city in the US, in the Washington state. It's in Northwest United States, city of Seattle, which is home to the headquarters of Microsoft, Boeing, and Amazon, etc. So I I was doing my PhD from University of Washington in Seattle. Um, so my pursuits were at that time very much still in computational neuroscience, and I was enrolled into the Department of Statistics in University of Washington, Seattle, and so as I was beginning my research phase, uh, first there is a coursework phase that happens in the US PhD system. So that coursework phase completed very well, and I completed the qualifications for moving on to the research phase. Everything went very well. And right after that, what happened was many uh, of the prospective research professors uh, kind of moved from the university to different places for whatever reason they moved. And what that led to is um, the works that I was interested in pursuing were no longer present at the department. So, um, so for example, I was working with someone for 6 months on a project, and then they moved, so I had to discontinue the work. And after that, there came a gap where I was not able to like find supervisors who would be able to guide me for, or like I would be interested in their work. I was not able to find. I really tried probably for another 6 months or so, just trying out different uh, possible professors working in different areas, but they were very theoretical, whereas my interests were more like in computational neurosciences. So what I did was discussing with some of my kind of advisors, personal advisors, experts, and also communicating with the department. It seemed like I can even look for advisors outside of the department uh, who are probably doing interesting work in the field I'm interested in. So I went to the electrical and computer engineering department, and luckily I found a professor whose work was very much similar to mine, and I started working with him. Thankfully, he hosted me also. In the sense, he agreed to kind of have me as a student, and we continued to pursue the research. And it was going fine, progressing. Things were progressing, and I I was reaching the first milestone uh, of the PhD journey. In the sense of curriculum, there are like two milestones, two exams that happen. One is like a midterm, and another is like a final. So I kind of reached the midterm exam, and uh, in the midterm exam, that also went okay. Um, but soon after, what happened is, 2 years had passed, approximately 1 to 2 years, and COVID-19 pandemic started. So at that point, um, I was still pursuing the research, but there came a phase, when we finalized the first research piece, we form a publication, a research paper out of it. And when I first uh, like had a draft of the paper ready and sent to my advisor for his feedback, uh, my advisor just asked me that, hey, can you yourself please review the work that you have done and maybe give your own comments to your own work? Like, you have a piece of work, piece of write up, draft manuscript. So I had sent to him, and he suggested that he's not available, that I myself try to review my own work and come up with uh, comments or feedback on that. So I was uh, okay with that, and I tried to do that. Um, it was probably uh, sometime, like in February or March, just when the pandemic hit, I think. And After doing that, I sent it back to him again. That Professor, I have done that, but it will be great to have your feedback right now so that we can complete this piece of work into our first publication. Um, so I did not get a response very soon. It was probably like 1 week after or so. He said, I'm very busy. You yourself do a second iteration of what you did. That is, you yourself review your work one more time, just like a second person doing it, and give your own feedback. It's still not there. Okay, so I did that. And basically, this process kind of long delays continued. And you probably wouldn't imagine the time when he actively started like reviewing or like being part of the work was about 6 or 7 months after that. So for 6 or 7 months, I was basically stuck, uh, and uh, trying to progress in whatever directions I can in different ways, different pathways. Uh, so yeah, so that was one first challenge that happened during the journey when COVID-19 struck, was non-response from people who are part of the works. Uh, and without their response, we can't proceed ahead. And at the same time, what happened, my department clock is ticking because PhD has a clock. You have to complete it within a timeline. So they will be like pushing me to say, where is the progress? Where are you progressing? Like, okay, you said you are up to this point until this month. Next, also, you are saying still at this point. And on the other side, my advisor was not responsive at all. So anyways, so it was just, I had to be patient, and throughout the process, um, whatever um, like different pursuits I tried to do in that time, I probably reviewed my own work repeatedly, most likely 20 or 30 times. That own So work means it's a draft of like a draft write-up of like 15-20 pages. So to make modifications on top of it. Uh, but yes, I would say I could still remain stable all through this process. Uh, and One key reason is because I used to practice meditation every day. Even in the pandemic, I used to practice Rajayoga meditation with the Brahma Kumaris. Uh, Over Zoom that time it was happening, and once in a while we used to meet briefly in a parking lot in person, just to share some words, maintaining social distance. And yeah, they used to be really sustaining me all through this process of long delays and other challenges that came. So continuing forward, So now that my professor got back after 6 or 7 months, then it was great. He was really working on, because they're experts, they know how to formulate the work for submission to top venues. So it's a learning process for us to get to know that. So he really got on board at that point, and we really had our uh, first submission happen. The first paper submission happened, and it was actually soon followed by a second paper submission. So our original work was split into two, and it became two papers. Both of them were submitted to like very good journals, top journals. And then we started to working on a third project. And as we're starting to work on a third project, we're realizing that, hey, I already have like a good amount of material at hand that is already published, peer reviewed. So we might be able to think about kind of graduating, like it didn't take a long time, like work wise, but delays made it longer. So, like probably an year or so it took to get the first two publications, and we started to work on another publication after that. Um, so yeah, at that point, probably a year after that, after my professor got back, we were thinking about, well, it's time for us to think about when do we close the PhD tenure, when we complete it. So because we had already works backing my thesis. So at that point, I went to my home department, that is the statistics department, to say that, hey, my advisor and I think that we have sufficient work already done. We have publications already happened. So we are thinking about graduation. So now, I think until that time, we were nearing the end of COVID lockdowns. Nearing the end of it is probably, yeah, if I remember that, not sure about the exact timeline, probably, I was, yeah, sometime in early 2022, I think we were having this discussion, most likely. Yeah. And yeah, so, but then my department people, they were pretty silent. Uh, like after my professor got back, I think uh, it was kind of recovering from the COVID phase at that time. And people were trying to get back to their work, and they were not very kind of uh, engaged in things so much, like rather focusing on, okay, how to get back to in-person works, systems changing, whatever. So my department professors, we have a committee basically for my PhD. They said that, oh, well, long time we heard from you. Although, I had communicated to them in the meantime, uh, they had been busy, quite understandably, they had been busy with other things. Mm, but yeah, when they saw my proposal for graduation, they actually like were trying to say that uh, like your advisor is from a different department than the statistics department. If you really want a statistics PhD, you need a supervisor who is from the statistics department. Now, this was not the case before the pandemic. Before the pandemic, it was okay to have supervisors from any department as long as you have your work is related to the field and you have like committee members, who are kind of uh, who judge the work. They should be from the home department. But after the pandemic, those rules changed. So we need to have a supervisor from the statistics department. Now, that meant that I redo the entire work again. Like I had a new supervisor work on their area and start all over. That was literally not possible. So we tried to still like incorporate some of the stuff that we're saying, but they were all coming from a very theoretical standpoint. My work was in computational neuroscience, where we apply statistics to neurosciences. But what they were asking me to do was a totally statistics, like a theoretical statistics project, and start all over again with a new advisor. And whereas my own PhD supervisor, who is the chair of the committee, basically, he's saying that, no, no, you're all good. You did a lot of work. Your work was published well in top journals of the world. What else do you need? Like, you don't need anything else. So there was like this multiple heads in my own PhD committee. So my chair was saying, no, no, you're ready. The others were saying, no, no, your, your chair is not from our department. So in the midst of this, confusion, what do I do as a student? Like I've sacrificed so many years, like already I was 4 to 5 years down the line of my PhD. Yeah, so I tried again and again to reach out to like conflict resolution. Like they're typically chairs of different organizations within the department, like a graduate program chair, different chairs. So even tried reaching out to them, but nothing got resolved. So at the end, thanks to advice from again my uh, peers and personal advisors, we thought the only way to go about is to change the department altogether. So to switch from a statistics to my supervisor's department, that is electrical and computer engineering. So uh, it was not a one-day thing. So we kind of deliberated quite a bit, whereas we're trying to not do it. And my supervisor was also like, try if you can to still remain in the old department, because a switch is not so obvious. It's not done by everyone. It's like a very rare thing for people to do. But nothing worked out in the old department. And yes, we had to consider the switch. And luckily, so we spoke to the entire university's kind of graduate division that is that basically oversees the entire university's graduate programs. And I checked with them, is this possible? And they gave the green signal that yes, if your supervisor is on board, that is possible, but that is also rarely done. So what I had to eventually do is like apply as a new student, applying like newly to the electrical and computer engineering PhD program. So I had to make a new application with statement of purpose and all the profile newly written. But I had good profile already, right? On top of whatever I had before my PhD admissions before, I had 2 more publications at hand. And my supervisor is also there. So obviously it got accepted. But again, I needed to reach out to recommenders and all. And luckily, when the decision-making thing stage was there, I was right before the application deadline for PhD for the new department also. So I could luckily put that in. And then, yeah, the switch could happen. I could switch to the new department. And in the new department, it was really heavenly, really great. I was in the field where I was working in, computational neuroscience, machine learning, AI is very much well hosted by electrical engineering, computer science departments. And it's a huge department, and everyone was very nice, friendly. And yeah, I sailed through after that. But I still had to give the exams once again, the qualifying exam, the midterm given. But it led to more expansion of the work that I was doing, because there were no kind of things restraining it. I was free to pursue. So I moved on to further extend my work to Alzheimer's disease studies in the human scenarios, things that I worked on, finds application in those to kind of predict the onset or things that can cure Alzheimer's disease. Uh, so we went on to pursue those applications. They were published and well received. Yes, and I did the final exam also in 2024, June, last year, June, I completed the final exam. So yeah, so all through the process, through all of these changes, I would say what made me like do those, lot of changes without, I never lost hope, without losing hope anytime. I would say because of the meditation practice I had every day, uh, every single day without fail. Uh, I also used to try to volunteer sometimes at Brahmakumari's, uh, even online, like technical support. That also kept me going. And because that kept me going, and I would like to help. And with that goodwill, I would also be meditating in the process, because I, I, I did not want to kind of be absent from helping out. So yeah, so all of those meditation practices and connection with others in the uh, in the around me, my friends and family members. Uh, so I remained stable. I had a deep faith in me that like whatever things are changing around, not everyone faces this. That's okay. uh, but everything will turn out good, and eventually turned out good. Late because of i I was from the new department. This is well known for its AI programs, machine learning programs, whereas traditional statistics is not so much well known for its AI and machine learning. I could be like boosted into a direction which deals with AI and neuroscience, and which is like one of the very kind of at the frontiers of the buzz also right now, uh, merging AI and neuroscience. And I got the fortune of attending with the top two universities in the world for neurology right now. So I'm a scientist in UCS, University of California, San Francisco. I got to found my consulting firm also because I'm based in the Bay Area right now. So yeah, thanks to that process.
That's quite a story and a very interesting story. Sounds like a book where it's there's a lot of suspense and you don't know what's going to happen, and eventually it's a good, wonderful, happy ending of the journey.
Yeah, that's right.
But I'm sure when you're going through that process, there's a lot of things happening inside because you're not
Right.
sure. There's so much hard work put into what you're doing, but it's like you're just one step away from the destination, and then there's this twist in the tail, as they say, and then you
Exactly.
don't know where to go, and you have to take advice from others, and not sure if this is the right direction or I have to change my path and things like that. So, as you said, meditation did help you during this process, and you did mention that you kind of remained quite stable and had the faith that eventually you will get
Absolutely.
through this.
Yeah.
However, were there some times where you felt a little bit discouraged, or a little bit of up and down inside as to, oh, for how much longer, or why is it taking so long, or it's too much? And
Uh,
if it did happen, how did you come out of it? What kind of thoughts, or what really helped you develop that inner strength to say,
mhm.
okay, no, let me keep going. Things will all be fine. It'll fall in place.
Um,
Was it because of the meditation that you were doing that you had it already, or was it some advice that someone may have given you? Yeah.
I think that throughout the process, um, you know, I do have some interests that I know I like to pursue, but it was not like I am very much dependent on the outcome of what happens in practicality in terms of the PhD program or the events. It's I would say again, it's thanks to the meditation practice I've been doing for like for a decade at that time about. So I had already got that like distinction. Whatever happens, I want to on the outside, I can handle it. Even if I have to quit the program, so what? I will always have something else outside. I didn't worry so much. Um, but I had also, like I would like to try my best to kind of take as much as possible to continue and try my best to kind of achieve this. Uh, I had also, I would say, very good advisors. They're also very senior meditators. Uh, I took their advice also, and a really very trustworthy kind of circle I took advice from, and yeah, I think I I did make sense whatever we are discussing. That yeah, we should do this, we should do that, and I went forward just like that. At that point in time, it was not like I was scared of. I would really thought about, okay, if this doesn't happen, what will happen? I was ready for anything. I did not really worry in that sense. But yes, if I tried to think about, why there was a point, maybe I was thinking, why is not why, but observing so many things are happening around, that are changing. Imagine I was away from my family that time. I'm a single child of my parents. away from them for 3 years. I did not meet them at that point in time. And every day, almost every day, I was also cooking for myself. Uh, so a lot of things were happening, but still I was maintaining the essential stuff also. Um, and in the middle of COVID, so I was living by myself. Really, it was we could not really meet so much with people. So yeah, once I think I really had a deep trust in a higher power, in the divine, to be uh, with me, and everything will be fine. I would say that's the cornerstone. So whenever I used to, there were a few times I used to probably think, okay, what is this happening? Then immediately I would go back to that faith in that higher power, the divine, and say, no, it's okay, it's okay. Let's go forward. Let's see what's reasonable and take the next steps forward.
Mm. So really keeping that faith going, and no matter what, sometimes the thoughts may, go in a different direction, but then quickly bringing it back to say, no, it's okay, and it'll all be fine.
That's
Yeah, as you say, faith then brings victory.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I think that's uh, what you have actually, you know, shown. And I'm sure the viewers are very happy to uh, hear about it and are inspired to see that it is possible. So, anyone out there who's on a similar journey or is experiencing something like that, I'm sure you have taken some inspiration that
yeah.
definitely there's
Thanks
light
also.
at the end of the tunnel. So, not to give up, but just keep the faith going. Wonderful. And any thoughts for those who have maybe kind of just started to begin meditation or who want to start on the journey of meditation? Hmm? You being in the field of study, and there's a lot of brain work that is needed when you're into such things. How
Mm,
has meditation kind of helped you with that?
mm.
Would you like
I,
to share a few thoughts?
of course, of course. I feel that the main thing of what we do is basically concentration and focus. Um, so, like in studies, in research, uh, the main thing that is needed is the ability to focus at that thing, not be distracted, be able to, single-minded concentration. I think that goes very much hand in hand with meditation. If we meditate well, we are able to do that very well. And when you are able to do that very well, we also meditate very well, much better. Our mind wandering is less. So I think it's like a very, what's the word? It's like a beneficial cycle, kind of. So meditation really helps us to be more concentrated at what we are doing, and that also indeed helps us to meditate better. So yeah, so I think that's the key aspect, I would say. So definitely meditation helps us in our studies, especially in today's world in practicality. I would say distraction is right next to us in terms of cell phones, social media. When I was growing up in my school years, we did not have cell phones or social media. So I'm still from that generation who from growing up did not have social media. Probably when I went to college, I had, but that also very little, just for communicating between friends. But yeah, today there is, but still, I think that thanks to the meditation practice, I am able to handle those things also. So I feel that it helps overall to manage ourselves better, meditation, regardless of what you are doing. And especially for students, because they're at a very formative stage in their journey. And you would need uh, the education that you're pursuing to be able to understand things like better, appreciate the world, the system better. But or like every person may have some interest, some specialty that hones that specialty better. Uh, so the school years are the time to do that. Uh, and those are especially, therefore, the time when the need for meditation is also much more relevant, I think, to help the younger generation. And that will make them prepared for what's to come after school. Um, in a much better way.
That's lovely. So thank you so much for sharing that and also sharing your wonderful journey with us. Uh, and as we do, I think we would like to have a little few moments of meditation so our viewers, get an experience of how we meditate as well. So let's take a few moments. Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Rahul, for sharing. And I would also like to thank our viewers for joining today. And if you would like to know more about us, please do visit our website, www.brahmakumaris.org.au. All the details of our programs and retreat centers are available there, and you're welcome to visit any of our centers or programs. We would love to have you. So thank you once again, and hope you have received some inspiration from today's episode. So till we meet again with another interesting story, take care. Om Shanti.